Hey, everybody, welcome back to a Masterclass series where we bring in subject matter experts from our high-level ecosystem to share some of their best practices, their insights, their processes, so that way you can have a foundation to work with to make yours and grow your platform using HighLevel. The most exciting part about all this is that HighLevel is always growing, and so are the expertise and the tips and the tricks and the strategies. So I want to introduce you to a gentleman by the name of Orien Daly. You may have got a chance to meet him at one of our events, at one of our workshops, or just online in the Facebook HighLevel community group. This young fellow here has been doing this for a while, and he's been enjoying the progress he's been getting using HighLevel. What's exciting is that he's unpacked several items that you could start using immediately. So without further ado, help me welcome to the HighLevel Masterclass stage, Mr. Orien Daly. Ryan, how you been, man?
Thank you so much, JB. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Hey, Mom. Thank you guys so much for hosting me. It's been a pleasure. As you can tell, I have a different accent and I look different. It's because I'm here in the UK. And yeah, there's not as many high levelers as I wish there was here, but I get the pleasure to speak to all of you every single day. Um, and I love it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. And I know, we were talking offline the
Yeah.
last, several weeks as we're trying to plan for this, and we finally made it happen together, which is exciting. That a lot of your experience within high level has been like trial and error and meeting great people and learning and just being a sponge. And time flies. For those that haven't got a chance to meet you or know you yet, could you share a little bit about what you're going to share with us today and what has inspired you to unpack those learnings for the audience?
Yeah, I can shall I share my screen?
Not quite yet,
But yeah,
but if you
okay.
don't mind just, yeah, briefly sharing.
It's been honestly amazing. High level's changed my life. Truly, it's changed my life. I've witnessed it change hundreds of other people's lives, and it found me at a tough spot that I was in, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and I rode the wave, and now somehow I can say that I spoke with JB on a Go High Level masterclass. Yeah, it's I love high level, I love the community, I love the space, and I'm all forever grateful and thankful for the opportunities that I get. So yeah,
Orion, could you share your screen and just kind of walk us through what we should expect these next 60 minutes of what you put together and what we can, right, get started to work on in our business?
yes, certainly. Thank you for that introduction, JB. And so like this is this is what I wish I had when I was starting out. Even if you are in the game and you want to recap, this is what I wish I had, and it's a quick step-by-step guide showing people, local businesses, agency owners, your staff members, everything they need to do to get Go High Level set up correctly the first time. Ideally without spending hours studying it and loads and loads and loads of dollar signs outsourcing it and hiring it. So if you're ready, we can get right into it. So
Ready to go. Let's get this party started.
go, woo! So before we actually get the party started, this is a little bit more information about me. My name's Ryan. I'm the co-founder of the GHL University, which I run with my beautiful fiance, who's typically sat right behind me in our little desk. I've worked with third-party companies, Go-level agency companies I've supported that support hundreds of agency owners. So I've spoken to hundreds of businesses over the last few years. I'm sold AI as well myself. So I was also in the trenches, made about 6 figures selling AI to local businesses. And not that it matters much, but I also have an academic background in sort of medical sciences, and not that I use it to the day in what I do today. So, but anyways, it's not about me, it's about you guys. And let me guess, right? Let me guess. Put in the chat if I'm correct. You are either an agency owner, consultant, coach, course creator, or business owner. And let me guess, you're either, interested in Go High Level, signed up to Go High Level yet, you're interested in its services or marketing, put a 1 in the chat if that's the case. You're either currently using Go High Level for your business, so you might be a local business owner and such, give me a 2. And then number 3, you're already reselling Go High Level as a software as a solution, whether it's do it yourself or done for you. Put a 3 in the chat if that's where you guys are at. Now, let me also guess, right? You started using Go High Level, at least I started using Go High Level because you want GoHighLevel to help you grow your business, right? And by growing your business, it helps you gain what? Gain what? Freedom. Nice. What type of freedom, you may ask? Well, financial freedom, right? You want to be successful. You want to prove to people that you can do it. You want to make 6, 7 figures, 8 figures, 12 figures, per month, right? You want to have the ability to work wherever you want, when you want. You want to have the ability to work with the best in the industry. You want to have the ability to spend quality time with your friends and family. You want to have the ability to work on your health and physique. You want the ability to, find the love of your life. And okay, look, I'm not saying that HighLevel is going to do that for you, and this is why we have this earnings disclaimer here, so that me or GoHighLevel don't get in trouble. But what I am saying is that HighLevel has changed my life. Truly, like it truly has changed my life. Like I said, I got engaged with my fiance of 5 years. I proposed in September of 2024. She's also my 50-50 partner. I live in a beautiful flat in London. Somehow I can pay the rent. I know how to book appointments myself somehow as well. Like that's incredible. Hundreds of appointments every single month I can do, and my team can do. I made money online, which is also incredible. I also paid my loans off. I also became a coach, and I shared this screenshot. This is quite a personal screenshot. It's an email I sent to myself in December of 2023. When I've never felt the richest that I've ever felt compared to that day where we had about 10,000 pounds in our bank account and we were in Egypt on a boat floating the River Nile, me and my now fiance, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without HighLevel. So thank you so much, truly, guys. It's an amazing software, it's an amazing platform, and I just have a couple of tidbits that I want to share with you. But before I go into that, I also want to thank the community. As you can see, we've got JV on the top right. We also have a whole host of amazing, wonderful people that I've met online, in person, and I've also had the opportunity to go and go to the HighLevel Summit. That was my second time traveling to the US. So met Sean, met Robert, met many of I love HighLevel. But however, for your business to help you achieve your goals and your dreams, I observed 9 main problems after speaking to thousands of GoHighLevel business owners over the last few years that stands in the way of them achieving their dreams. And they specifically are, right? Mental frameworks, knowing how to get clients, don't even know how to start with getting clients, don't know what niche to approach, right? Who here feels that? I definitely felt it when I started, right? How to make a good offer. What features to sell? There's so many features of HighLevel, right? They keep updating. What should I sell them? How do I price my services so that I'm not going out of pocket every single month? I definitely felt that one. And then finally, figuring out ways to sell HighLevel to prospects, figuring out ways to get consistent bookings, and then figuring out ways to onboard and fulfill clients. So from that, after speaking to hundreds and thousands of agency owners and business owners and GoHighLevel experts, these are the 9 key traits that I've observed amongst myself, and not to toot my own horn, but myself and other people that have helped them become successful with GoHighLevel, helped them achieve the freedom and success that they deserved. Now, unfortunately, we don't quite have time to go through all of them, to dive into everything today, but we do have time to focus on probably one of the most crucial aspects of GoHighLevel, and that is getting it set up the right way for you, your team, and your clients.
Orien,
yeah,
I know you're about to unpack these 9, and from time to time, I'll hear that folks will come across our masterclass. They have no idea what HighLevel is, but the speaker, the whole beginning of the content caught their attention. And then they wonder, well, how do I get set up? What's the process? All that good stuff. So I just want to, welcome our new viewership, whether you're watching on YouTube, any of the social platforms, on Meta or elsewhere. There's a link below to get started with your trial. So that way you can unlock the resources that Orien is going to be sharing that costs no extra fee outside of just registering for the trial. And those items is what you'll need to use to set up your trial. So it's a win-win in both directions. So for those that are already tuned in, we're going to be unpacking those resources for you at the end of the masterclass. So that way you can go in, grab your version of the resources and put them to work, whether it's for you or for your staff, your VAs, your support team, whomever. So we got some
Yeah,
exciting things with that in mind. Look out for the end of the video. You'll get that link. I get my trial, Orion, or I'm ready to reactivate my interest in getting my HighLevel fully started.
yeah.
I'm listening. I'm ready to learn.
Beautiful. And that's exactly what we provide. Thank you so much for that, JB, because these are the goodies that you get for free, just hanging out with us. Not necessarily that comes with our affiliate links, but if you do choose to sign up under affiliate links, there's a short description going over what it is that we do and what you get with us. I won't bore you. I don't pitch. I don't want to pitch you on this call, but I do want to present you with value, and this is the value that we have for you. Most specifically, onboarding training videos, so 20 of them for free. These are ones that we use and license to 350 clients. Onboarding checklists, right? So templates that you can follow along and customize yourself, SOPs that we use within our agency, and much, much, much more. So stay to the end. It's all free. Love you guys. I love this space. Yeah, let's make this work. Plus, you can find all the resources over here in the doc. And if you want to speak with a specialist, feel free to reach out. But before we get into that, I do want to also mention this. GHO University, there may be many, many companies that teach people how to use GoHighLevel, and fair enough. We found it on accident. We founded GoHighLevel University on accident, actually. We love GoHighLevel so much that we actually became an educational company, right? Where we created these AI training videos that teach you, your staff, and your customers how to unlock GoHighLevel's full potential. And we're not too bad at it. We've now got it licensed over to 350 plus customers in the high-level space. And our ultimate goal is to make a real life university in Kenya, because my fiance is from Kenya. So giving them the ability to learn digital marketing skills and apply it in the market. Plus, one last really cool thing is that we have the ability to completely white label the training. So meaning you can be the person explaining how to use your own white label software without your clients, without having to actually learn it or apply it or spend years learning it and then months creating those videos. So we update it, we take care of it, and so forth. Anyways, enough of that. Let's begin. So today I'll be walking you through the step-by-step guide on onboarding and setting yourself up or your clients up or your staff members up on GoHighLevel. And this is the exact guide I wish I had when I first started. So first and foremost, before we get into that, I want to make sure that we have established something called the sales to fulfillment conundrum, right? Raise your hands for agency owners specifically if you've ever had clients accuse you of being scammy, or if they have worked with other agencies that promised the world but never delivered. You don't want to, you don't want to be that type of guy. So let's try to avoid that by building this out specifically, setting the right expectations to begin with. So when you're building your business, you want to always balance. You're always balancing between sales and fulfillment. So if you make fulfilling your product or service too easy, selling it becomes a bigger challenge, right? But if you create an irresistible offer that's easy to sell, you might find yourself overwhelmed by demand, making fulfillment more complicated and time-consuming, and profit margins begin to shrink because you might have to outsource or hire. The goal is to strike the perfect balance where you can sell effortlessly whilst keeping fulfillment streamlined and efficient. So when you're using GoHighLevel to deliver value to your clients, it's essential to make strategic decisions that ensure both impact and efficiency, right? So to help guide you to delivering those results and setting yourself up for success, right? Setting your clients up with GoHighLevel, here are some of the key questions to consider, right? How much, firstly, personal attention are you giving your clients? Is it one-to-many? Is it one-to-one? Is it group sessions? Is it how are you providing that value? Next, customer effort. What sort of effort is expected from your clients? Is it do it yourself? Is it done with you, right? Do they get someone along? Do they get like a client success manager? Or is it completely done for you where they don't have to touch a thing? Delivery, right? How are you delivering that service? What mediums are you using? Are you using GoHighLevel? Because they're pretty cool. That you can use, this is what we did, right? We use the emails, we use the text, we use the Zoom, We use live chat support services as well to engage with our customers. As well as that, what sort of content formatting are they using? Are they consuming information through reading, through voice recording, through videos? How are they consuming the content? For us, we posted it on GoHighLevel's Go Collab, which launched last year in 2024. Super great resource, would recommend. And then finally, the response time. How quick are you responding to these clients' inquiries? Is it 24/7? Is it within business hours? Is it Monday to Friday? Is it only Mondays? Do you do group coaching calls? You want to be very specific with how you are delivering that service to your clients. And that's kind of what we did. So we built out an example. So this is an example of us building out the entire client journey for our agency at the time, which was called AI Clinics, where we sold AI to med spas and beauty clinics, right? So what we offered was marketing services and coaching services. We combined all those things, as I mentioned to you before, the delivery cube, and we sort of gave two different models or two different offers. A done with you low ticket service, where clients could manage everything on their own through our SaaS platform, right? Where we gave them the actual GHL University training videos, which is where it came from, to get themselves set up on it and utilizing it correctly. We also had a done for you marketing solution. So high tickets, hands off, don't worry about it. We managed it. We did the database reactivation, paid ads, AI chatbots, and we made quite a decent amount of money selling it, between 3 to 5K per month, or even some custom AI build-outs up to $10,000. So yeah, here's a quick Miro board overviewing what it looks like. So I'm going to share my screen. This is the entire client journey. And as you can see, it is really in depth. And it needed to be, we needed to know how we were going to get our clients from step A to step B, getting our clients in, getting them on sales calls, booked appointments, sales calls, having them shown up, ready to have a conversation, taking payments, scheduling onboarding calls, right? Making sure they're having an excellent, time with our agency specifically. And then of course, how we can get more upsells, reviews, referrals, and more profit in the bank, which allows us to get even more clients. So this was the entire framework in which we followed along. I customized it myself towards my business, and I've always used this framework to help me break down this complicated thing called business into step-by-step bite sizes. So yeah, hope you enjoy that. And in fact, I will clearly, so in addition to this, a lot of the times people get stuck on the onboarding side of things. And this is what we did. We broke it down step by step, bit by bit, on what people needed to do, whether it's us or virtual assistants or employees, to get our clients from point A, signing up, to point Z, getting results, giving us referrals, getting us reviews and referrals. So this was the steps. For the done with you side of things, it was very simple. We had a congratulation phone call. We did a one-on-one intake form. We did group onboarding calls, and then we send them over to group coaching calls. For done for you services, it's a little bit more complicated because, we had almost the same process for the done with you, but we included two, if not three onboarding calls to get them fully set up with GoHighLevel. And these are, in fact, the templates that you will be getting. So we use these are our own SOPs that we used and followed, and I'll be giving that to you for free. So the first one being the onboarding checklist. So if I share my screen, there you go, and we can go through this. This is a very colorful, slightly confusing Word doc that we used during our onboarding side of things to get people set up with HighLevel, right? So we had step-by-steps going over how to get set up with the business profile, phones, Google integrations, professional emails, dedicated domains, social planners, all of the most, in my opinion, useful things to begin with when you start out with GoHighLevel with a local business owner, in order for them to fully utilize it and gain benefits from it. So this is for you. This is what, my gift to you. This is what I wish I had when I started. Feel free to make a copy of this and customize it to your own liking. Second to that are the SOPs. SOPs saves lives. Truly, SOPs saves lives. I love SOPs, as nerdy as that sound, because as we did before with our whole client journey, client acquisition pipeline blueprint, we did the same thing, but with the onboarding side of things. So here's an example of a welcome call, SOP checklist that we broke down. This is customized specifically to ours, where we require them to have a Stripe account, open an OpenAI account, give us their previous clients on a CSV file so we can do a database reactivation. This is specific to us. I would suggest customizing it to how you would like it. The tech call and the training call are more generic, and obviously you can use it yourselves. Setting up the phone, setting up the personal profile, user profile, phone numbers, integrations, custom values. If you have custom values in your snapshot, we ran Facebook ads for them, so we use this as well, and so forth. Likewise with the training call. So the technical call is to get them set up technically, and then the training call is to showcase to the client what it is that they bought and how useful it is, and so forth. So yeah, that's that. That is a bit of the resources that you get. And finally, it didn't mention here, but finally, the onboarding videos. So as you saw, a lot of the things that I mentioned earlier in the tech call and the training call show up in the Getting Started University. So this is our GoHighLevel AI generated training videos that gets you, your customers, and your staff members set up. This is a sample. We've got a fully, these are 20 videos. We've got about 60, 70, 80 plus in the database. And as you can see, they're very, very familiar, very similar to what we have here in our SOPs, because we did it a gazillion times and we realized some people forget, some people didn't show up to the call, or some people showed up to the call not having all of the necessary credentials set up to use our high-level software. So,
Orien, for someone that is following along here and they're seeing the formality, they're seeing the SOP, they're seeing the amount of detail you've put into it, and maybe they're feeling a little overwhelmed with the amount of maybe literature they have to review, or wow, I thought this was a lot easier to get set up.
yeah,
I know that everyone has their own way
yeah,
of getting things
yeah.
organized. Could you share a little bit about what is the best way to consume all this information, and where is a good starting point for someone that's brand new?
Yeah.
And then where's a good starting point for someone that is experienced and looking to maybe optimize their current setup?
Yeah, two very, very good questions, in fact. I'm sure, first, the guys who are optimized, I'm sure they already have their onboarding processes in place, or some sort of onboarding processes in place for other services that they deliver. This would be a great add-on that you can add to your never-ending list of SOPs. So feel free to use it, customize it. For guys who are starting out, and some of the verbiage is a bit too technical, don't worry. I came from a science background and knew nothing about GoHighLevel marketing, sales. No clue. No clue. And this was all built through us, and obviously through ChatGPT, and through a lot of iteration and practice. The only way you get good at this is through practice. Like, there is unfortunately no easy way around this. I wish there was. But in order for people to use GoHighLevel, they'll need to understand it. And that's why we made the educational company. Because my biggest pet peeve and frustration in the business is that people see it as some people see it as a get rich quick. Some people see it as a product that isn't as valuable as it is. I know how valuable it is because I'm in it every single day and I study it religiously. But people don't do that, which is fine. And that's why we're here, to give them the resources to make it easy for them, and most specifically their clients, because those are the most important people. You need to be able to deliver the results to the small business owners for them to then achieve. And if they achieve great results with you, guess what? They'll keep paying you.
Yeah. And I wholeheartedly believe that you need to put the second screen to the right or left of you, read or watch, and do as you read or watch. I feel like it's if every piece of furniture that I tried to build in my adult life had detailed instructions that I could actually read, I think I would have built those pieces of furniture a lot quicker. But for some reason, all the pieces of furniture that I've built have faded or lack of instructions. And it looks like we have in your SOPs and what you've provided as resources, we have a lot of detailed, which means there's a lot of filling in the blanks of just here, click here, do this, do that.
Mhm.
And it's powerful because, right, you said it before, getting your clients to keep paying you has
Mhm.
everything to do with them moving the mouse or the trackpad and
Mhm.
using the platform,
Mhm.
which leads us into the actual setup here. So I know you're going to run through these different modules and really walk through, the I guess the scenario or an example of a scenario that you've experienced. In the comments below, as you're tuning in here, go ahead and jot down Q and your question
Mhm.
around any of the modules that you're learning, any of the information that you're learning, and Orien will make his way back into the comments, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or where else, and get you a response. So, Orien, let's take it on to this module one. What do we got?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, um, thank you so much for introducing us, and we're going to segue into the practical segment of getting set up or getting yourself set up with Go High Level. There's a series of, in the free training resources, in the free 20 videos, we go through that in a video format. But over here, I'm just going to go over it with anyone that's new or anyone that needs a recap on the core principles and the core fundamentals that you need to go through to get a Go High Level sub-account set up. So the first one specifically is the business profile, right? Where businesses, right, can establish their identity, ensure that they can effectively communicate with your audiences, and we'll walk through the best practices and share with you what we recommend. So first of all, hopefully you all have a high-level login. If not, links in the description, free trial, let's go. I'm going to log into my own HighLevel, WideLevel account. And it's a little bluer because I like the color blue. And essentially what we want to begin with is logging into the account, navigating into settings, and then selecting business profile over here. As you can see, I quickly removed all of my personal information before this call because, yeah, didn't want to add anything leak it on the internet. So yeah. Next, right, we want to start off by entering your friendly business name, excluding legal suffixes like LLC or INC, then enter your legal business name as it appears on your registration document or EIN, right? Anyone know why this is important? JB, do you know why it's important?
It looks like we got some comments coming in. Obviously, having the legal name is going to help with other registrations, other parts of getting other features turned on that require that government confirmation. But I'm interested in seeing maybe what your perspective is or what you believe would be, another use case for it.
Exactly that. It's A2P.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that's a whole other masterclass,
Yeah.
Orien. And I feel like, some of the most basic things of high level could be, depending on the person's skill set, could be just a lot.
Yeah.
And, something that like a legal name, legal business name, if they don't hover over that circle I, they could essentially get denied for that A2P or be flagged or whatever the case may be. So like this information is so important. And I know that you share this in your SOPs and in your workflow, but the days of just kind of copying and pasting over and over and over, there's more specific needs of these fields now than ever.
Definitely. Exactly that. Exactly that. Exactly that. And like you said, I know I love Go High Level, but I also know how how difficult and challenging it is for your clients to utilize it to its full potential, right? If they're not utilizing it, they're not using the software, they're going to cancel. And as we mentioned earlier on the sales to fulfillment conundrum, if you're doing fully done for you side of things, which we did for a long time, that's difficult to scale. And of course, there are many smarter, stronger, better entrepreneurs out there who manage to scale a done for you high ticket offering. But I see their margins and I see how many people they manage and the managers within the managers that manage the managers. You get what I'm saying? Like, it gets a lot. And I'm sure as we go back to the point at the start, we all got into high level for freedom. So learning this is a way in which you can achieve freedom. It's just not going to be as easy as you think it may be. It will require some time, but that time will be so, like, I can't tell you how much time I've spent in GoHighLevel, but it's all been worth it. It has all been worth it all along. So especially when things work the first time, right? Like your A2P. So anyone, we'll do an A2P masterclass. I briefly gloss over it in this training video. But also, sending emails, right? HighLevel's known for sending emails, right? Sending SMSs, being able to text with your prospects and your clients and email them back and forth. It's going to be really tough to use HighLevel if it doesn't show up, right? If you're unable to text and A2P denies you, after a month, you can't do a text blast for your client. They get very angry, they cancel and they churn. Or if you're sending an email blast to a list and it goes to spam, that also gets quite frustrating and difficult. So going through these steps is worth the effort required. Just like, quick segue, getting yourself a professional email, right? I've seen it before. People go and get Gmails because it doesn't cost them another $3-4 a month to get their own domain and email domain. But generally, please, please use a professional email, right? If you have a website, I'd also suggest adding a URL or create a simple landing page, contact page, as well as selecting your niche and business. You're selecting your business niche and clicking update information. Another thing, who here has been in the workflows or done a bunch of things with GoHighLevel, forgot to click save, and then everything restarts? Yeah, I've done that. I've done that too many times now. So there you go. Number 6, in bold, update your information and add a nice logo as well. So my one is a bit too big. Cool. So next up, oh, no, we're not done yet. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Also entering your business address. So street address, city, state, postal code, time zones. Time zones is a big one, right? You do not want to be calling and texting people at 3 a.m. on a Saturday. Would recommend not doing that. You might get in trouble. And then finally, selecting your, there you go. There you go. Selecting your own business structure, industry, category, list of regions, adding an authorized representation into your GoHighLevel account so that if there's ever an issue, they can contact that person, and then clicking update because you want to make sure things are being saved. So does that all make sense, guys? Is that all clear? Business profile, pretty important. Next, your personal profile, right? How many of you have an email signature? I didn't for a long time. But I would highly recommend it. So first steps first with setting up your personal profile is that we want to enter obviously our first name, last name, our email, our phone number, and any sort of business information about yourself. You can change your passwords over here and so forth. Next, right, creating that email signature. Not necessary, but if you want to look super professional, I would suggest so, right? You can add your full name, business card, websites, links, etc., and make sure you always click save. After that, we have, of course, choosing your default meeting location. Another great feature and functionality of HighLevel is that the fact that you can book appointments directly into your Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar, or I believe we have iCloud now and Apple, which is pretty cool. So that's what we've done. I never have a double booking. And if there is a double booking, I always see it on my calendar and I can ring up or message or email that person to let them know that that's happening. Great feature, probably one of my most favorite features of HighLevel. And of course, in addition to that, there is also the user availability, right? So you can update, there you go, you can update the calendar so that it syncs with your own Google Calendar, and it can update specific time zones, specific availabilities. So if I were you, I would turn off Saturday and Sunday, unless you work Saturday and Sunday, and mitigate it to between 9 to 5, unless you work other hours. So that's what we've done. We actually have it from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. because I've adjusted my availability on my Google Calendar and Outlook Calendar instead of adjusting it here. So gives you that flexibility, gives you that availability to choose what you'd like to do. And that's why That's why I love HighLevel, and that's why it's such a fantastic tool, right? So there you go, connecting your emails, calendars, and contacts will automatically sync. Nice. Are we all good, guys? Yeah. Woo. I can't hear you guys because I'm recording it, but I assume people like it. So next step is buying a phone number, right? So accessing a phone number begins in the settings tab. So let's jump into that. If we scroll down over here, we can click phone numbers. Now, phone numbers is a tricky one, right? Step one, obviously, you go into your settings, navigate to the add phone number tab over here, and you can very much see, it gives you the ability to purchase a phone number for calling and for texting, right? Once you add the number, you'll see sort of, what do you call it? Area codes. Yeah, there you go, country area codes, and you can choose from the available phone numbers there, right? You want to select a country and area code using the filter button down below. Of course, you can change different locations depending on where you're at and where you want to be texting, and purchase however many numbers that you'd like. You can buy a toll-free number, or you can buy a local number depending on your needs, right? Cool. There you go. Nice. So as I mentioned, you can choose the country code drop down, and you can enter the area code based on the desired location that you want to be calling from. Once you do that, right, GoHighLevel will display a list of available numbers, and you can select which one is best fit for you. I wouldn't say it's a huge deal, right? It's not the biggest deal. I would just buy one that's within your price range and go from there. So after you buy that, there's a whole load of cool things that you can do. Of course, you can select the A2P, but you can also edit the configuration of the phone number that allows you to enable call recordings, whisper features. You can even verify. You can even use your number. Yeah, use your verified number as a call ID for outbound calls. This is really, really cool, but it's a little bit next level. As well as that, you can also forward the calls to a specific phone number. So if someone was calling, like you made a phone call on HighLevel, and then they didn't answer. 3 hours later, they called you back. You can forward it to your own personal phone number, and then answer the phone call from there. It's super cool stuff. So yeah, very cool there. And of course, you want to enable the SMS and MMS capabilities. You can set up auto responses for missed call textbacks, which are either in the automation section or in the my business profile section. I'll just quickly navigate it over to there. There you go. So there you go. There you go. I need to enable it. So we'll do that another time. But you get my point. There's a whole host of things that you can do with buying a phone number, but you can only use a phone number, guys. Get it registered. Who's here had a A2P rejected? Yeah? Yeah. Me too. Who's here had to wait like sometimes I have to wait a couple weeks for it to even be verified, but that's okay. That's fine. I love HighLevel. It's worth waiting. Let's go into it and break it down a little bit so it feels less complicated than it is. So first things first, of course, you want to go into business profile. You want to have reason what we said at the start, so you get all the business profile information filled out as accurate as possible, is because when we go for the A2P verification, they'll be looking at all of that, right? Your legal name, your address, your business type. Be sure to utilize as well any SMS compliance settings from previous lessons to meet the regulatory requirements, right? In addition to that, oops, there you go. Like I said, JB said earlier, there's a whole host of things that you need to comply regarding A2P, and we don't have that much time to discuss. We've got a couple more minutes left, so just make sure that you follow the instructions given to you by A2P and follow any of the YouTube videos that are out on HighLevel. If you can follow it step by step and it still doesn't allow for you to get in, then I would suggest contacting support, and they'll be able to help you out with that. But the main fundamentals is registration, making sure everything is set up correctly the first time, right? And then waiting for approval from the HighLevel team. I believe, is it Twilio, JB, or was it HighLevel that approves A2P?
So there's a whole process around that, but the lead connector, if they use lead connector, we support it. If they use Twilio or another phone service, they'll have to go directly to them.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly that. So it will take its time. Be patient with it, and of course, there are so many other features of HighLevel that I'll get into next that you can offer as value to your clients, or if you're a local business owner, that you can already use immediately to get value from. And that's integrations. I love integrations. I love integrations. I love how there's so many things I can connect HighLevel to, and just make it all work and make it all tick. It truly is an all-in-one CRM platform. One of the really, really cool things about it is Google, right? So as I mentioned to you guys earlier, with connecting your Google calendars in, this is another way that you can do so, by clicking the button here that says connected. I've already connected it, so I'm sorry about that. In addition to that, you're also able to connect your Google My Business page, which is another great feature for local businesses to utilize and to try and get more Google reviews. In fact, I once had a client who was so happy with the AI Google My Business reviews. He was like, "Oh my God, I freaking love this thing. It keeps, it like does all the responses for my reviews." And I'm like, that's like one out of 50, 60 different features of HighLevel that we have available. But I'm glad you find value in that. And I'm glad you're going to keep paying your bill to utilize the service. As long as they find it valuable, one specific aspect valuable, that it solves them either through saving them money or saving them time, then you're more likely to get them to stick around for a longer period of time. In addition to that, Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram ads. I've got a love-hate relationship with Facebook ads and Instagram ads. A lot of stuff that happens behind when clients say that they're poor leads or low quality. It's a marketing platform, HighLevel specifically, that allows you to generate these leads, put them in the CRM, nurture them, and then book them in for appointments to close. HighLevel does that extremely well. It's just I sometimes forget there's this thing called a Facebook form field mapping, right? And I've done it a few times where we launch an ad campaign on social media, and we get no leads. That's because we forget to connect it. But that's an error behind my fault. And another really cool thing that I would love to mention is that if you navigate to settings, I once had it where I had a bunch of clients using the same Facebook page and Instagram account, and they were complaining that they were getting these random messages that everyone was getting. Yeah, that's because in settings, you can actually enable and disable Messenger. So not everyone receives the same message if you're using the same Facebook page or Instagram business account to manage clients. So yeah, that's integrations. Of course, I did forget to mention everything else that comes with it, right? I'm no by means expert in all of the other features here. Of course, there's TikTok, there's LinkedIn, Slack. We love Slack. I love integrating Slack to communicate with my team based on if there's an opt-in or something that happens with our website or something. Slack gets notified. Stripe to take payments. Of course, there's many different payment providers, and QuickBooks, for your accounting. The rest I've not used yet, and of course, I have a team to help build videos out for me now, so they've got that covered, and they're using it within the training resources that we have. But what I do love and do know is domains. Now, this is probably, including A2P, one of the most confusing things for me. I'm not a website guy. I'm not a domain guy. And when I first started out with HighLevel, you had to go through the manual route of adding your domain into HighLevel, right? You have to go into your third-party hosting providers. Yeah, I don't know the technical words for that. And basically, you had to manually connect a domain using DNS settings with required verification records, right? You've got to monitor the DNS progress and essentially send specific records so that the website works. Yeah, no. My fiance, she's the tech, she's the software engineer. So that was confusing. But now, see, you early guys, you new guys, you got this easy. You can simply click connect a domain, and you can buy domains now from here. What? How cool is that, JV? How cool is that? How cool is that? That is so cool.
I
So
think like
cool.
the most powerful part of that is just giving the customer that feeling of everything within. Like sometimes finding passwords and figuring out which site or DNS. Like there's so much complication depending on the customer you have. They just want to get it done. Like they don't want to know how it's made. Can I
Yep.
just have the finished product?
Yes. 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 Exactly that. And thank goodness you've done that because now it makes us, serve go high level service providers and business owners to add their domains in to high level with ease, right? And it's not just that. You can obviously make all sorts of sites, all sorts of funnels, right? You could utilize the funnel AI. I've been playing around with that. It's a great way for getting new website clients, by the way, guys. Wink, wink. But of course, after that, you can go into one of these domains, for instance, one of these funnels, navigate into settings, and then add that specific domain. So as I mentioned, AI Clinics was our business, selling AI to clinic owners. Add the domain, click save, and there you go. You have a real life website. When I did that the first time in 2022, my mind was blown. I thought websites was like a really complicated thing. It probably is. Like I said, I'm not the website guy, right? But just being able to do that by following a few simple videos on YouTube, yeah, changed my life. And then last but not least, this is the final feature that I think is kind of underrated. It's actually the app, right? I don't hear too much love about the app, unless I'm not hearing the right types of people. But I had clients who never logged into HighLevel, but they always had the app on their phone and they'd always be chatting with clients and they would, HighLevel even gives you the ability to white label the app instead of it being called Lead Connector, which is what it looks like over here. You can basically download it on either Apple Store or Google Play Store. It's called Lead Connector. And obviously you log in with the same GoHighLevel credentials. Super easy. It's like you have GoHighLevel in your pocket, right? Social planners, storing media, opportunities, invoices, tasks, reputation, estimates. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. HighLevel's managed to figure out a way to turn HighLevel into an actual app, have it on your phone. You can be anywhere and everywhere. My my fiance, she's traveling right now, but she can still respond to clients. Not that she should totally take a break, but you get my point, right? And this gives her the ability, and all your business owners and clients, the ability, like I said, to have conversations, go through contacts, pipelines, and reviews. Uh, Most specifically, right? So you can actually go through sending review requests. So let's say you're having a conversation with a client, they're very, very happy with your stuff, and you said, hey, I can give you a discount if you leave us a review. Cool. I'm going to send you the review link. I'm just going to text it to you on my phone. Click plus, find reviews, send it over to them, and voila, you're done. This was the slide for that. Sorry, guys. There you go. Would you recommend us review requests? And you can send it via text or emails. In addition to that, you have access to your whole CRM contact list on here, so you can make calls, look at history notes. I love the notes section as well, JB. We're doing a lot of cool stuff there by adding, just adding like you need to keep a record of your communications with your clients. Notes is an underutilized section, in my opinion. So yeah.
On the note of mention of notes, right? Like imagine how frustrating it would be if you called up a business that you
Yeah.
have some sort of subscription, you have a complaint, you have a concern, no one took any notes, nothing was able to be referenced, and then it comes to the point where now you're looking for a result and no one knows what you're talking about. And I feel like, like to your point, notes get kind of put to the side for some. Maybe they don't realize the importance of it when you're on the run. So using that mobile app for notes, and the mobile app is always evolving. So like there's so many other features that are mobile friendly, but voice to texting some notes is so important, even if it's a prospect or a client. And I think, Orion, it comes down to educating our clients. And that's, I guess, when you had become an education company and you took on this responsibility of teaching people, you knew that maybe you'd be like some of these influence professionals on YouTube, yelling and screaming like, "You gotta do it! You gotta do it!" It's like almost talking to the air. and like, oh man, they're not doing it. It's so easy. Sometimes people just learn a certain way or by certain example, or it's just the right timing for them. So I appreciate you highlighting these parts in a, simplistic, easy to understand way. Although it's easy and simple doesn't mean that it's not impactful. Like this can make a difference, especially if you have technicians on the road or staff on the go, or you're on vacation while your business is running. How do you get a pulse check of a customer or interaction? So powerful stuff here, man. And I think, for those that are just tuning in, if you haven't yet, you got to rewatch this from this point back. There'll be some resources associated. There's a link below to get your own trial. I know we got a lot more to unpack here, Orion, but for someone that might be saying, man, do I really need to do all this? Or is this overkill? Or is this something that I can do later as I get my first 20 customers? Could you just color in a little bit on why these basics matter most for desktop, like web-based and mobile on the phone?
My goodness. Yeah, it's I asked the question to you, JB, like you don't just learn university level mathematics without going through primary school, high school, and then upper sixth form here in the UK. There are baby steps that come along the way with high level, and I've seen some really complicated stuff, right? Like, and I like to try and push the boundaries. I mentioned notes because we're trying to have our phone calls transcribed with AI and added into the notes section. So anytime we call a person, we already have a transcript of the conversation in the notes section. But I'm only doing that after spending like 3 years in the platform playing around with it every single day. You know what I mean? Like these are the core fundamental steps. And sometimes when clients aren't happy, you just have to go back to basics, right? If you're not utilizing HighLevel to its full potential, have you set up your business profile? Okay. Maybe not completely. Okay. Have you played around with some of the phone features? Okay, cool. Not maybe, right? It's this information that you don't need to learn new information. You sometimes just need to be reminded and repeated. And for those who've stuck around all this time, I really do appreciate you sticking around with me, even though it's a little bit more basic and not as in depth and complex as maybe other speakers. But I truly believe if you can master this, oh, you can just build on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and in my personal experience working in corporate SaaS for working with small to medium sized businesses, and then working with medium sized to enterprise, whether it was for getting people from the yellow pages to jump onto the cloud, or getting people that are bringing on new marketing managers, directors of marketing, VPs of marketing, etc., to adopt reputation management. The fundamentals at those levels of businesses making $100 million, per year, having hundreds of thousands of customers enrolling year over year, acquiring multi-million dollar companies to absorb their client information to put them into another ecosystem. These are the same foundations that the companies that I used to work for in the corporate sector, working for small to medium sized businesses, would hire contractors to do overseas on their behalf.
Yeah.
They would jump on a call, they would walk through onboarding, they would walk through the basic setup. And a lot of these folks didn't have the same experience or the same hands-on like our agency owners do at HighLevel, or how our customers that are working with agency partners do here at HighLevel. And it's so powerful to understand here that the basic mechanics still matter. It's like putting your name on the test.
Yeah.
It's right. It's like putting the right date
Yeah.
on your application, or looking at the expiration date of something. All those minor details matter to get the finished end product. So, Orion, I know that sometimes teaching this could be difficult on the sense of I hope people grasp one or two nuggets. But here's what I'll say: working with our amazing support team at HighLevel, having insights and the visibility over internal processes and strategies at HighLevel, working for companies like Thrive and Bird Eye, and seeing their processes and just being a salesperson, a customer support person, a little bit of everything person, all of this comes together to say, hey, check the box. If they take your trainings, they learn it, and they check the box with the checklist for their customers will pay.
Yes.
And I know we could say this as high level and as subject matter experts and as professionals, but it's so much different when a member of our community like yourself shares what you're doing with your customers. So I know we're at the tail end of kind of walking through, in case you didn't know so, now you know so process.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I just want to share with you, I appreciate it because it's like a refresher, like I mentioned before. It's the refresher that gets the back of the content to the front of the mind.
Let's worry about AI once your stuff is set up correctly the first time. Otherwise,
You're the basic setup, right? And like you said, making sure your legal business name, your phone number, all these elements, they feed into other features. They feed into other functions of the platform. Unless you want to copy and paste it every time or have to change it every moment, I want to set it and forget it to an extent and be able to build upon it without having to rebuild it.
Exactly, exactly. And then from there you can I know guys who sell missed call text back and they make a gazillion dollars because they just focused in on one specific feature. We love to get complicated and fancy and shiny, but these are the basics, and the basics are boring. But I also had a business mentor who said, simple scales, stupid fails.
Mm.
So along the lines of that, basically try not to overcomplicate things too much. And if you do so, it'll be very difficult to grow from there. So yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. There is this one thing that I did want to mention as well, which is actually the GHL University giveaway. So thank you for everyone who stayed to the end of my hopefully interesting masterclass. I hope you all enjoyed it.
And this was very very needed. I mean, even as you were sharing this, I know that's basic or I know that's that, but I never looked at it that way. Right? What's not being excited for me at the moment may not be excited for someone else, but there might be something that says, "Oh, that's exactly how I did it. I'm on the right path."
Yeah, yeah, literally that, literally that, literally that. And I want to give that. Like, I spent too much time like messing around on YouTube videos and not doing the work required to get myself results and my clients results and ultimately make the world a better place because everyone's using HighLevel, right? And I want to make it easier for you guys. So in the chat or in the description, there'll be a Word doc. I believe this is will be found in the Masterclass GoHighLevel resources section. And in there are a couple of snapshots that I've procured over my time and built. There's the AI generated training videos to get yourself set up and your clients and your staff. There's the SOPs. Gosh, there's the onboarding, welcome tech training SOPs. And then for those who might be interested in potentially working closer with me, we're actually looking for 30 or so people over the next coming months. This is what they get, and this is the process that they can go through to get signed up with me. So feel free if you're interested. No worries, I'm on Facebook all the time. And yeah, JB, it's been a pleasure. Love this. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's been an amazing time just right getting back to what do I need to do if I haven't done it yet to get fully set up so I can just keep building on top of it. So thank you, Orien, for that. Many of you, again, different levels. The comments have been very generous. We appreciate the questions, the interest, the just sharing your experience. And what I invite you to do is continue to share maybe what's one takeaway that you got from this. What is something maybe you would give advice to someone else is tuning in if they watch the replay? And I believe it's important that if you haven't joined our official HighLevel community, if you haven't made some friends within the HighLevel ecosystem, this is why we do what we do with our master classes. So, Orien, what's the best way for folks to reach out to you to maybe connect with you directly?
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm always on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I'm trying to grow a little YouTube channel. That's been tough. But you know, I'm always there. I'm always showing up, and that's probably one of my best traits. I just keep going until one day it happens, and today is one of those days. So thank you.
You go, man. Well, look, y'all, we have pretty much wrapped up our in-depth masterclass on how to get your high level or go high level, however you prefer to mention it, set up, not just for you, but for your first paying customer, for your 15th customer, for your 100th plus customer. They may change a little bit, but the foundation's the foundation. Orien, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for unpacking and thank you for the resources, the goodies. And we appreciate you being our customer at HighLevel.
I'll be here forever. Don't worry. Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye for now,
Bye-bye.
guys. Yeah.